What's up, Dupe City fam? Welcome back to the Unmagical series by Dupe City Co. In today's video, we are recreating the Terror candle from Magic Candle Company using the same exact library fragrance you can get from candlescience.com for just $2.65 an ounce. In this video, I'm going to show you how quick, easy, and inexpensive it is to make your own 5-ounce Terror candle. And yes, Magic Candle Company's small candles are only 5 ounces. Unfortunately, the MCC misguides you on their labels to make you feel like you're getting more product than you actually are. Luckily, Dupe City Co.'s Unmagical series is here to show you how to recreate your favorite MCC products for just a fraction of the cost using the same exact fragrances, saving you money and time. I promise that you'll not be waiting weeks for a finished product. You'll be burning your candle within 24 hours. As always, I'd like to remind you that I'm in no way affiliated with Magic Candle Company, nor do I make any profit off any of the products that I recreate. So please give this video a like and subscribe to Dupe City Co. to be notified every time we release new content, which is a few times a week. Let's get started. Alright, so while I'm waiting on my wax melter to heat my wax up to 185 degrees, I'm going to prepare my candle tins by cleaning them out with a paper towel and some rubbing alcohol. I'm not going to show you the part today where I melt the wax. You can watch that in my other videos. If you're using a double boiler, just make sure that you melt that wax until the wax is translucent clear. We want to be able to see all the way through it. That's going to happen at about 175 to 185 degrees. All right, now we're going to clean off our wick tabs here. We want to clean them off because if they have any residue left over from manufacturing, that's going to prevent it from sticking to the wick sticker, and we don't want that. We want a nice secure wick. We're just going to clean it off with the same paper towel, and you can see sometimes these things get dirty. As I said in the intro, the fragrance we're using today is this one. It is Library by Candle Science, and this is the same exact fragrance that Magic Candle Company uses. If you don't believe me, go to Magic Candle Company's site, look at their description of the fragrance, and then head on over to Candle Science. They copied it word for word. Is this a good fragrance for the Tower of Terror? Well, you're going to have to wait to find out at the end of the video. Now, to achieve the deep red color of the Terror candle, we're going to use two colors, both from Candle Science, and they're both dye blocks. The first one is this red dye block here, and the next one is going to be more of a deep red berry color called Merlot. And together, this color is fantastic. This gives you, when melted, this gives you such a deep blood red color that reminds you of the blood in a blood bag. And now, not to be too excited about that image, but it really, really works with this. So if you are making this candle, I suggest you use the same two colors. We're going to move everything off to the side and prepare our color dye blocks. I'm going to place some parchment paper down to not make a mess, and using an old kitchen knife, I'm going to cut off about 1/4 of each dye block. Now keep in mind we are only using 10 ounces of wax total. I'm using 1/4 of a dye block in order to make this a very rich color. Now the reason I want these in small pieces is because with the small amount of wax that we're using, it's going to cool off fast. So we want these in tiny pieces as to melt quicker so our wax doesn't cool off too much. I'm going to wrap this up, put it off to the side, and then we're going to prepare our candle tin so that we can pour our wax. Now our wick tabs need to go into these circles inside of the candle tins right here, and we're going to do that by affixing our double-sided wick stickers. Now we're going to place our wicks in and give them a trim. The size of the wick we're using today is 0.5 millimeters thick and 0.625 inches across. Placing our wick is so super simple. We are just going to take the wick and push it in between the prongs of the wick tab. Now, since I'm using the same wick for both candles, I'm going to place this on a flat surface, trim the wick, and then just repeat the process in the other candle, like this. You want to make sure your scissors are flat across the top or flush with the candle tin just to make sure you get an even cut. Place the wick in the other wick tab, and then again trim off the excess. We're going to trim these again later just to get them to the 1/8 inch size, but for now this is great. This next part moves very quickly because we want to keep our wax at an optimum temperature while we melt the color and then add the fragrance and then pour. So we're going to measure out 10 ounces of wax, and as soon as we do that, we're going to put in our color block to melt that and make sure that it's completely melted before we add our coloring. I'm going to add the coloring, but I still want to keep a watch on that temperature. It's dropping fast. Okay, so you'll see right here that I have to get out my heat gun and point it at the stainless steel pitcher to keep it warm, just so I can melt this color dye block before the wax cools off too much. This is okay to do, just don't put the heat directly on the wax. As I mentioned earlier, the fragrance we're using today is Library from Candle Science. This is a pretty fantastic fragrance, and we're going to use the whole 1 ounce bottle for 2 of these 5-ounce candles. When you put the fragrance oil in, it's important to mix it thoroughly. We want it fully incorporated, so you're going to mix for no less than 2 minutes. More is fine, just don't mix for less than 2 minutes. Now that we're done stirring, we are going to set up our scale to pour our candles. All we're going to do is place the empty candle tin on the scale, tear the scale out to 0, and then pour in about 5.5 ounces of our finished wax. And be careful of your surface, there may be spillage. Now we're going to even out the candles using a pipette. We're just going to take wax from one, put it into the other. And the finished product for each will have about 5.7 ounces of wax. So almost 6 ounces, but not quite. So there we have it. After that wax was melted, the whole process took about less than 15 minutes to complete 2 5.5 ounce candles. Now we're going to carefully put the lids on these, let them cool down for about 24 hours, and then we're going to test burn one to show you guys what it looks like. It has been over 24 hours and I'm excited to show you the final product. Here we have 2 of the Library / Terror scented candles, and the color turned out so beautifully when the wax cooled completely. Now what we're going to do is trim these to the 1/8 inch size that's required of wooden wicks. Now if you're thinking, no, it needs to be 1/4 inch. Well, that's true for cotton wicks, but for wooden wicks, it needs to be 1/8 of an inch for safety reasons. And that's it, fam. We are going to finish trimming these wicks and then we're going to light the candles so that you can see that beautifully colored melt pool. Now that we're at the end, I'm thrilled to give you my review of this candle. So the fragrance is absolutely beautiful. For a leathery-ish fragrance, this just knocks it out of the park. But it's still not a good fragrance for a Disney candle. I always say that. Well, I always back that up with facts. Keeping in mind that the Tower of Terror fragrance is subjective. Leather isn't a good fragrance to use used for a hotel lobby. Hotel lobbies just weren't laden or clad in leather. I would associate an old haunted hotel with some stuffy and dusty, musty air. But keep in mind that the Tower of Terror is no longer Twilight Zone themed. It's now Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's supposed to be a space fortress that houses alien artifacts. Think private museum of sorts. Now, I haven't tried it, but I'm going to. I feel like there's a good opportunity here to mix in the scent of space sold by Save on Scents with this actual library fragrance from Candle Science and a little bit of earth from Wholesale Supplies Plus. I think that those three together in some sort of combination would be a great alien artifact museum fragrance. There you have it. I'm off to make my next Dupe City Co. Disney DIY. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to Dupe City Co. to be notified every time we release new content, which is a few times a week. Thanks for watching.